Eurovision, all things Europe, Nations League, Euros, FIFA WC qualifiers. Goal Plus Africa, Africa's Heartbeat, AFCON, CHAN, COSAFA Cup, FIFA WC qualifiers. Libertadores Vision, South America Uncovered, Copa Libertadores, Copa America, WC qualifiers. Silk Dynasty, Asia Spotlight, Asian Cup, WC qualifiers. Harambee Stars Unleashed, everything about Kenya's national team. When club football dominates, we go deeper. United Frontline, the ultimate Man United fan experience. Echoes of Anfield, Liverpool like you've never seen it. House of Galacticos, Real Madrid Uncovered. Premier League Game Month Show, stats, analysis, insights every 4 game weeks. Champions Crystal Ball, UEFA Tournaments, Club World Cup, Super Cup predictions. Final Whistle Debate Show, the hottest sports topics debated by experts, every 6 weeks. Deal Paranoia, transfer window coverage you can't miss. And for weekly predictions? We cover everything: Premier League, Championship, FA Cup, La Liga, Serie A, Bundesliga, League One, DStv Premiership, T20 Cricket, F1, Women's Super League, international tournaments, and much more. Why subscribe? Because we don't just show games, we predict, analyze, debate, and break the stories that matter. From transfers to tactical battles, from managerial appointments to live watch-alongs, Football Overseas gives you the edge no other channel does. This is your hub for global sports, where every match counts, every opinion matters, and every fan belongs. Subscribe, join the debate, and fuel your passion. The game does.
Yo, big up guys, welcome to the Football Overseas YouTube channel, and welcome to the channel where it's your favorite sports hub where passion meets sports. And this is the Deal Paranoia. Deal Paranoia is a transfer window talk show where every week we'll be talking about the latest transfer rumors and the visibility aspect of the transfer rumor happening. Am I visible? I don't think I'm visible. Let me close the curtains. Yeah. Yeah, sorry. I that's realized I wasn't visible. Yeah, so we'll be talking about the feasibility of the deal happening, whether it's a win for both parties, and whether it's a win for the buying club, win for the selling club, and a win for the player as well, because a transfer affects the parties, the buying, selling, and the player side. So we'll start off with the first deal. First deal is Casemiro to Inter Miami on a free deal. United lets Casemiro go due to high wages. United is saving on wages. And before the last episode, we talked about this in the last episode, but almost it was almost done in the last episode. And this episode, it is confirmed to be done. Casemiro will be joining Inter Miami. Inter Miami is gaining a good experienced defensive midfielder, and it will help Casemiro. It will help Inter Miami to control the midfield as well in the MLS. So it's a good, valuable signing that Inter Miami has gotten. Now another one is Grimaldo. Grimaldo has been confirmed to be confirmed done. In the previous episode, it was almost done. It was 95% done in the previous episode. This was in the waters in the previous episode. Atletico Madrid attempted to. It was Atletico Madrid attempt to hijack Barcelona's advanced 30 million deal. So it moved from 60% previous episode to 95% to confirmed. The player wanted the Spanish football, but there's a difference between the two clubs that had to be sorted out. That's why the deal took a bit long, and Barcelona was out of the race. And the deal is confirmed and done at 21 million. It's a good deal on Atletico Madrid side. He's a player is an attacking left back that can go up and down the field. Defensive wise, he's also a good defensive player as well. He's more of a attacking than defensive player. And for Atletico Madrid, it's a good player to have to play on the left M side because he's also experienced playing left M and Leverkusen in a back three, and he can do quite well in a back four in a left M spot. And yeah, I see him there. He, when Atletico Madrid needs someone to bring on, they can bring on the man off the bench or they can start him. So he's a good signing. For Grimaldo is moving to a bigger club. No offense to Leverkusen, but Atletico Madrid is higher in terms of bigger clubs than Atletico Madrid is than Leverkusen is. So he's moving to a bigger club. He's getting more access to more publicity. So it's a good move for him. Yeah, in terms of publicity gainage. And for the selling club, they do not lose a good player on a free contract for free. So they're getting 21 million. They'll have wished to get, if it was back then, they'll have gotten maybe 42 million, but they're selling him for half the price. It's better than selling him for free. Yeah. Next deal, Ederson. Ederson, we have talked about it many episodes. I even did a video about this. Nottingham to Man City, it is confirmed at 106 million. It was verbally agreed at 130 million, but contract-wise, it was confirmed at 116 million. And that's a new development on the saga that we knew. We know Ederson was always going to go to City since late April. The deal is now confirmed and sealed at 116 million euros. The price is a bit too high, to be honest, if you ask me. 116 million for Ederson, and Ederson that was fighting relegation battle. It is a bit too high, and I feel like he's worth half of that. If I'm being honest, yeah, maybe you're paying 150 million for his potential. His potential is 150 million. I can say yes, but right now his value isn't 150 million, 115 60 million there. So, but Nottingham, they are selling a very good player. They're getting a lot of cash. That cash they can use to reinvest into other positions. So it's a good deal that I've sealed. Even though Nottingham should have checked the contracts to confirm it is 130 instead of 116, but he was too excited. Those small mistakes should be rectified. But anyway, it is confirmed and sealed. Another deal, which we talked about with Hano, is Parsley to Inter to Chelsea. This is a hijack. Chelsea hijacked successfully the Inter Milan deal. That guy looks like he was going to Inter Milan for the past two episodes. For episode one and episode zero, it looked like he was going to Inter Milan. By end of episode one, it looked like his deal with Inter Milan was almost done and sealed. And Chelsea hijacked it in 24 hours. We talked about it with Hano in the away end podcast, so I'll not delve into it much. For the player side, going into Chelsea, a Chelsea side where Chelsea has a lot of congested players. Will he get game time? Maybe not. Maybe he could be a rotational player for now, and or maybe he'll be a starter on the right side. His versatility will help Chelsea a lot, especially playing on the left side as well. So his versatility will help Chelsea. He's a attacking wing back, so yeah, he and also it allows them to sell Gusto to City if City is still interested. And anyway, what else? Apart from that, it's a good move for the player. The only concern I have for the player is the game time. Will he get the game time that he desires? Because I know at Inter Milan, he'll have been the undisputed, undisputed Yeah, he'll be the undisputed, what do you call it, starter at right back. But at Chelsea, he'll be fighting with Gusto for that spot. So it's one of the reasons why he left Atlanta to go out on loan, because he did not win the competition. And Kulich had his development. Maybe it could, but hopefully it does go right for the player. I wish the player well. Atlanta, they're getting a good deal, a very very good deal, and 45 million for a kid that that needed a loan outside there and did well in one season is a good deal to seal. Chelsea is obviously paying for his potential and not his real value. Yeah, but he's an incredible kid to have. Yeah. Next, next is another saga. Curtis Jones to Inter Milan. Curtis Jones to Inter Milan is a collapsed deal, that 5 million. It was collapsed because Liverpool wants 35 million and Inter Milan wants to offer nothing less than 25 million. And Liverpool will be willing to sell, but not less than 35 million. So the only difference that they have is 10 million. Both clubs are not willing to budge from their valuation. And the ball is in Inter's court whether they can add an whether they can add 15 million to get him now, or to tell Curtis Jones to run down his contract and do a Real Madrid on Liverpool in summer 2027 and sign Curtis Jones on a free. Curtis Jones wants to leave Liverpool because of game time, and he's worried that he won't get the enough game time that he needs for his career. Staying at Liverpool is add damage to his career, because let's be honest, there are players that are levels above him in the ranking order. So in terms of his player career mode and those things, he should I'll encourage him to leave for Inter Milan. But again, Inter Milan as well, he'll find the same issues. But Inter Milan is going to a new phase. They're getting rid of the old players and they're building a new younger squad. So he'll be more prioritized than Liverpool, who are looking for stability for now. Yeah, while they slowly transition to youth. Yeah, so I think he'll get more game time in Inter Milan than at Liverpool. It is hurting his career, but again, he's delaying his move. Inter Milan, Inter Milan, paying 35 million for Curtis Jones. It's not a bad deal, to be honest. For a rotational player, I've seen worse rotational players being sold for higher prices, and yeah, it is a doable deal, but I get why. With Serie A clubs, they are going through some financial issues, and the budget is a bit limited here and there. So that's why they have to do with what they have to do. But one thing that is not limited that you fans can do is to like the stream, subscribe, and also share as well. But if you are Curtis Jones, what will you do? Will you stay at Liverpool for the rest of 2026-27 season, or will you go to Inter Milan for 20, or will you go to Inter Milan for 26-27? Okay, but let me rephrase the question. If you're Curtis Jones, will you push for a move and force Liverpool to sell and to forgive the 15 million difference, or will you wait to get your move later on, a season later, and agree to one season of being on the bench? It's up to the players to decide. But in terms of the players staying at Liverpool, in terms of Liverpool, in terms of Liverpool, in terms of this, sorry for the noise. In terms of the deal, it is something that is a bit of a saga here and there, and it is sad to see the man and seeing how Liverpool is delaying his career, where he should be getting minutes and he could be breaking out. But anyway, let's move to the next deal, and that deal is a deal where we saw it being talked about in summer 2025. It is a deal where it was being talked about in summer 2025, late summer 2025. Also, it was there a lot in winter 2026 transfer window, but the deal never materialized. It is Savinho, Man City to Tottenham, 60 million, 65% chance. Realism is 90%. Yeah, personal terms are done. All three parties want to move. Now just club to club talks, and the reason why it's 95% done is 95% is because with these club talks they can be they can be last minute disagreement on payment on payment structures, add-ons, those things, etc. But I expect this deal to move quite quickly and to be done by next week or in the next 2 weeks. Yes. Another deal that was talked about late into last episode was this week Tottenham to Brighton. That deal that was starting to be talked about after when Jan Paul van Hickey went to Spurs, and Brighton saw this focus as his perfect replacement. The player wants to move for minute purposes because he knows that he will not get minutes at yeah for minute purposes, and yeah, for minute purposes because he knows he won't get minutes at Tottenham. He has been loaned time to time over again, and he needs some minutes, so he wants a move to go to Brighton, and we know Brighton is a club that is perfect for player development skills as well. And Spurs want to sell, but Spurs want to sell for 60 million plus. Brighton does need 10 to 15 million extra to seal the deal. Otherwise, it is a 65% chance of this deal happening. Tottenham, they are losing a very good long-term centre back that it will be a sad thing seeing the guy go. I see someone like Vis Vis Viscovic as a long-term replacement for Romero or somebody like Van de Ven, and I'm just a rival fan. And for Brighton, they're getting a very good bowler. 65 million is a steal, is a bit of a steepy deal. There, 65 million is a steepy deal. He's worth currently 45 million, but in the long term, he'll be sold for what 100 million. So it is that kind of deal where you win for now and you win for long term future. And he's going for the player. It's a good move. He's getting the minutes that he desires, and he's going joining a club that cares about his development as a player. So yeah, and he's going from high pressure to low pressure. Yeah, so it's a good move for the player. A lot of good move. Next, next thing is Andre Carbiso, Juventus to Chelsea. Now, this is a rumor where I mentioned in the away end. He was offered for 130M. Chelsea made a verbal offer, I think for 30M. No, 30M. And the gap, and Juventus wants 40M. Now, the way I look at this deal is it's it's either one of these things of agent talks of agents trying to use Chelsea to get the player out of the club, or the club trying to use Chelsea to gain interest to to make other clubs interested in the player so that they can sell. Because Juventus needs 20 million before June 30th. Yeah, June 30th, and Chelsea don't want to pay the extra 10 million. So they want to offer Jackson. If Juventus is seeing if they need Jackson at Turin, but the player wants starting minute at Ladan and doesn't want to be on the bench. That issue. I don't think this deal is true. I think it's more agent talks, and it is more of a 55% chance. It is a deal where I'm keeping a track on it to see how true it is, to see how many tier sources will report on it. If there's none, then I'll remove it from the next episode. Somerville to Man United. The player is very interested in the move, but West Ham's financial issues means that West Ham is creating a bidding war. That's why they are inflating prices for him. And Matias Fernandez, well knowing, frustrating that, well knowing, yeah. So they know, and they need like I think 130 M before June 30th, so that the financial issues that they're going through, and they want to create a bidding war so that they can sell him and Matias Fernandez for the highest possible bidder at the highest possible price so that they can not sell too many players and can only sell two players with that, and then they get 135 M. So that's the M to gain most of the 135 M for these two from these two players. And it is frustrating them because they want a bidding war. What happens to the bidding war? It increases the value of a player, and the selling club gets benefits more than the buying club because the a player that is worth 30 million is suddenly sold for 60 million. That's because four clubs were interested in him. So it's that kind of bidding war that is frustrating as well. And yeah, and also it's frustrating for the selling club because they know that the two players only want United. Manchester Fernandez has said time to time over himself personally has said he wanted United. His agent is trying to play games because his agent knows with the way George Mendes works. He never let his players come out publicly and then say that they only want one club. They will want the players to play mind games, and yeah, but privately the player wants one club. Jan de Monde, Jan de Monde is a 55% chance for him to be signed for Chelsea to Liverpool from Leipzig. Yeah, well, Somerville. Um, what are my thoughts on Somerville? Number one, I don't see him as a left winger that United needs. To be honest, they're better consistent wingers than Somerville. 57 million is a stupid deal for a relegated player. Yeah. And for the player, number two, he'll go from being a starter role to being on the bench. So in terms of development minutes, his minutes will will shrink. But again, he could either decide he could have the mentality of saying, I can be the super sub player, or I can be the frustrated player of being on the bench. So it's up to his mentality as well. He's moving to a bigger club, so UCL minutes, club brands, everything. So the benefits outweigh the cons. So I can see why the player is very interested in going to United. Ian De Monde has agreed verbally a 6-year deal with Liverpool. He has chosen Liverpool over PSG, but Liverpool and Leipzig disagree on price violation, and that's why the deal has stagnated, and that's why Liverpool has gone to sign a player like Victor Manus rather than seal this deal because who's paying 130 who's paying around 130 for a player. Yeah, who's paying 130 for a player who 130 euros for a player who has had one good season in Germany. Yeah, it is a bit of a high risk, high reward thing, and the risk is very, very high. Yeah, so makes sense why. But again, the high risk, high reward. In next deal, Matthias Fernandez. This is Matthias Fernandez, West Ham to Man United for 60%. West Ham West Ham needs 150 to stabilize the finances, meaning they're trying to inflate the prices, and one of Somerville or Fernandez will come to United. Neither both, and the player chose United over Real Madrid and Tottenham. That is privately agreed. Personal terms were agreed privately. Also, by George Mendes has publicly agreed personal terms for the players to sign for Spurs. Also, those personal terms are agreed as well, but the player has given his word to United. Though a potential hijack is seen from Tottenham if they pay more for Matthias Fernandes than United does. Yeah, if the deal prolongs past the June 30th, and Tottenham seems like they are going quicker than United is. Sandro Martinelli to Tottenham from Newcastle, 100 million. This is a 55% chance. Tottenham, Matthias Fernandes is better off going to, if I'm being honest now, for this, I can see why the player wants to go to Tottenham. Why George Mendes wants to player to go to Tottenham. Player development, let's be honest, the player is more of an attacking midfielder role than a calm position. At United, he'll be on the bench. At Tottenham, he'll be in the starting 11. So, number one, that's 30 minutes and he can develop his career. Number two, as well, Tottenham has won European club. Yeah, so Tottenham, it's also staying in London, it's the same London club, so he's not moving as much as moving to a different city. So those are only two reasons, but United is more beneficial than Tottenham. But it's up to the player to decide. It's up to the player to go to tell his agent to fuck off and tell his agent to prioritize United and to force the move to United. Yeah. Sandro Tonali to Tottenham from Newcastle, 100 million, 55%. Yeah, Newcastle rejected 80 million bid from Spurs. Newcastle is demanding 100 million from Spurs. It is a crazy violation for Tonali. I don't see the player worth 100 million. I see him worth 80 million. Yeah, so I, if I was Spurs, I will just tell Newcastle, thank you for everything, but we will look at other targets because Tonal is nothing where near 100 million, especially with his gambling issues. That gambling issue is why he's at 8 million. Yeah, and also his playing ability, those things are 8 million. So yeah, and it is way too high, but 100 million is to compensate for not qualifying for UCL and Europe. But Tonali prefers going to Arsenal over going to Spurs. And now this is a one-man horse between Tottenham and itself, interested in 100 million. Tonali, even United withdrew from that race, though Arsenal and Man City and Man United are monitoring this just in case the valuation goes down and sees what happens with Spurs. Another thing is Lee Kang Lee, PSG to Electric Madrid 30 million. This is almost a done deal. PSG wants 35 million with feasibility. Yeah, as to be honest, I see why Tonali. Okay, let me analyze Tonali to situation. If I was Tonali right now, I'll be rejecting Tottenham and telling my agents to focus on Arsenal and Man City. Arsenal has just won the league. They're playing Champions League football, and Tonali is a UCL kind of player. Tony's Newcastle that has downgraded his standards, but is a UCL kind of midfielder. And number two, he's getting old. He needs to win trophies, more trophies. So I prioritize a move to Arsenal and Man City over Tottenham. Yeah, but he could be at Spurs. He could be a hero player. At City, he'll be City. Arsenal, he still be a starter role, but not the healer mentality. Hero mentality. Lee, PSG to Alex Madrid, 95% done. PSG wants that 5 million, but is willing to compromise for 30 million plus added bonuses. They are yet to discuss with Atletico Madrid whether this added bonus, this extra 5 million, will be in add-ons or will be in the final. Um, Luis Enrique wants to keep Lee Kang Lee as a rotational player, but the player wants starting minutes and has agreed personal terms with Atletico Madrid. Juventus are there like a lion waiting to poach and hijack this deal, which is unlikely because Atletico Madrid is very interested in this deal. They see him as a way to, they want to seal this deal before their pre-season tour to South Korea so that they can use him as a marketing tool. Yeah, for the buying club, it is a very good deal. I saw how the Kang Lee plays for South Korea national team. He's one of those hardworking bowlers that are underrated, and he deserves 30 minutes. Obviously, yeah. So I can see why they're looking for him. Look at him. Another one is, yeah. So selling club makes sense for 30 million for a rotational player. I know Luis Enrique wants to keep him, but let's be honest, I don't think he's getting much minutes that he deserves to get. He deserves more minutes, and PSG is killing his career by keeping him at PSG. And the 30 million can be invested into or can offset the potential purchase that they'll make for Monaco. Lewandowski to Chicago Fire, free deal. Everything is sorted, just personal terms. Previous episode said it was almost done. The player was 50-50, but this episode, after his flight to the city and seeing the Polish community, he made his choice to join Chicago Fire. And all I can say, Lewandowski, welcome to MLS. It's a great move. All three parties, great move. Barcelona, his wages are off the books. Chicago Fire, they're getting an experienced striker, and it makes the MLS more interesting. Mm, Emiliano Martinez, as there's something about Emiliano Martinez. He has been linked to many clubs before. Last summer he was close to signing for United, but United rejected him and went for Laments instead. Now he's this summer he's linked to a move to Juventus. Juventus see him as an alternative option to Alisson after Alisson's deal broke down with Liverpool, where Liverpool was not willing to sell Alisson, and Juventus is targeting Emiliano Martinez. This is a dead deal anyway. If Juventus is refusing to pay the fee that Villa is paying, he is demanding of 50 million, and the keeper had an agreement with Turin for 3 years, but they didn't agree with Villa because with yeah Juventus did agree with Villa's steep clauses. I feel like 15 million is not bad of a player of his career. Let's be honest, 15 million for a World Cup winner is a steal for a goalkeeper. That a steal, and is worth it. Juventus should just open up the checkbook, write 15 million, and seal the player because he is worth it. 3 years deal, that will be a stealer, but that's stingy. Yeah. Ugarte, Man United to Milan, 50%, 25 million. Ruben Amorim, the man who brought the player to United to Manchester, now wants him at Milan, but Milan hierarchy views United's 25 million as too steep, even though it is minimum United can sell due to Premier League PCL accounting rules. Player wants to go to Milan because of player wants to return to his former manager and views a move to Milan. Yeah, for Milan, Dani, United is a good deal, sealing the getting rid of the player. For for the player, it's a good deal. For Milan, I'll advise you Milan to target another midfielder. Yeah, there are other better worth 25 millions than Gata is defensive midfielder, and we don't do the same mistake United did signing him. Yeah, and yeah. So next deal is Viscero, Tottenham to Inter Milan. This deal is dead. Tottenham's Roberto. This deal is dead. Tottenham manager Roberto De Zerbi has completely voted against any possibility of a sale of this deal. Furthermore, Inter Milan's afternoon board meeting concluded with all available defensive funds officially diverted to sell Marcos Parasli signing, completely killing the Bizarro rumor. But since Parsley has gone to Chelsea, they have diverted those fans that were meant to go to Parsley to go look for a better alternative. Danny Sadabas is on almost done deal. It was almost done. Ajax has successfully found a breakthrough with Real Madrid on a 10 million upfront fee. The Dutch giants are currently mapping out payment tranches, and Ceballos is expected to fly to Amsterdam for his medical services. On Onochi, yeah. So yeah, I talked about this in the last episode. Onochi to Man City, this deal has stalled. Man City's recruitment team has admired his 20 million lease clause, but there's no formal bid has been submitted. The rumor remains entirely on ice taxi while the owner prioritizes a much larger midfield piece. That is Addison. Yeah, Milo Galio, I've talked about that. Inikio, also I've talked about that. Solete, yeah. So the deal is for the Gilia Lazio to Napoli is a 55% realism. The president has rejected opening direct player swap proposal involving Lazio Laka. The president is demanding 50 million cash alongside Luka to offset the 50% sell-on clause he owes to Real Madrid. For the French deal, are not finalized, it is in the final stages. PSG has submitted an opening bid, written a verbal of 60 million to Monaco, following explicit statement that he'll reject all Premier League approaches to move to Paris. Monaco has entered into direct talks to wrap up the transaction before July 1st, and the deal could be sealed and all and could be confirmed after the World Cup. Udinese to Udinese to Inter Milan, 85 million. It has been down the brink on of total breakthrough. The fee has been established as 30 million upfront, and Solet has explicitly agreed to sign a brief tactical contract extension with Udinese to ensure they command a transfer fee rather than let him walk. Solat, this deal to Juventus has stalled, according to transfer expert Mato Miyato Murata. He has confirmed a three-year personal agreement exists, but Juventus' new CEO has completely iced talks with Atlético. Asked directly about Turin today after Norway's World Cup victory, he he was nonchalant about it. Yeah, so I don't think he's going to Juventus. Yeah, I think that deal is mostly a deal that is done and dusted. That will not happen. Mm. Now, Mason Greenwood is another saga that I talked about in the last episode. He's trapped in a limbo, while Roma's manager Gasparini has convinced Greenwood to join Roma. Goal has confirmed today that the deal is completely frozen and they cannot pay the 55 million asking fee until they successfully sell Manukone to another club. Mr. Greenwood to Fenerbahce is a dead deal. Just Omino's ex-club checked on the 55 million parameters, but immediately backed away due to the player's explicit stance of Greenwood has guaranteed Roma that they will wait for them, entirely ruling out Turkey. Vlasic to Barcelona is a dead deal. He has actively rejected Barcelona's no Juventus 6 million contract of Bruno, and a free transfer is legally impossible because its current contract runs until June 2027 and Juventus has no capacity to pay 60 million upfront for a striker right now. Adam Morton to Liverpool is unlikely. Crystal Palace has labelled him untouchable, and Liverpool has targeted the winger instead. Rafael Milan to Arsenal and United is impossible as Milan treats him. Yeah, Man United Zaxi to Juventus is impossible because United refused a lowball offer of 25 million loan to buy offer, and Thiago Motta is moving to other profiles. Thiago Silva, good deal. He has gone back to his former club, Fluminense. Yeah. Another one is Cancelo Ramos, PSG to as Milan. Yeah, I saw that this when I was that's coming into this episode, I saw that this deal was confirmed, and they have confirmed it. The only issue before was spending 40 million will require moving other assets around, but PSG is willing to cut their losses. So PSG is willing to sell, as Milan are willing to do loan plus option to buy. But then when I came into this episode, I saw that this deal was confirmed at as for a buying for a full purchase, not option to buy. Yeah, so parsley to Chelsea, we talked about that. Madrid activated the buyback option for Nico Paz for 10 million and plan to turn it into profit. Yeah, they sold him to Como and kept the same structure as the previous deal. So they got 10 million, but this previous deal is still the same. Mm, Again, United works for clubs clubs ball and at least a second loan offer for Andre Onana. Another good signing happening was Davache, Davaj, the experienced centre back for Inter Milan, has agreed to sign for the Greek side Panathinaikos. No, is it Greek or Hungarian? 95% done, and contract terms are being finalized. Not officially technically term confirmed by the clubs yet, but they're solely waiting on the defenders' final green light to trigger the here we go announcement. It's a good deal for all three parties. Yeah. For the Turkey for the buying club, they get an experienced centre back. For the selling club, they're getting a player off the books. Yeah. Joao Gomez has been a saga to Atletico Madrid, and I we all thought it was looking to be done two episodes ago, but Gomez is desperate to leave the AFL Championship side pools and has heavily bought into Simon's project and has already agreed verbally into a 5-year contract, fully locked in. The only issue is Atletico Madrid's board freezing a 45 million bid that Juventus wanted. No, Wolves wanted to seal the deal because of the club is furious with super agent George Mendes for allowing Bernardo Silva to sign for in Madrid, and they're now pursuing alternative targets like Morten Halmad because of the beef with George Mendes. George Mendes. Uh, yeah, to be honest, I thought this will be a still a deal. If he's a good player, I know a lot of people underrate him, but he's one of those player where he signed as a rotational option and you will not regret it. So it is sad to see that out of beef he's not getting the move that he wants. But could it be a chance for United to hijack that deal? You never know. United should be all over this deal. Yeah. United should be all over this deal and everything. Yeah. So I've spoken for long. Okay, next. Yeah, Ralux to Chelsea. Yeah, an agreement is finalized, and yeah, it's a here we go. It is a done deal, and the official announcement waits until after 2026 World Cup. This is a good deal. We talked about it with Hano on the surface level, and it is a good deal. So we'll see what happens next week. When yeah, so watch the away end episode for that next week. Yeah, Matthias Fernandez, Morgan Rogers too. Yeah, so I think we have come to an end for this episode. Make sure you subscribe, like, share. I'm about to go to the next episode for the next thing that is, yeah, relegation transfer opportunities. So apart from that,